I've been doing pretty good, but had a really kind of rough week this week. We training some employees, so it's kind of hard when you're trying to train somebody to do a job, but they don't have computer access, so they have to basically shadow you all week. And me, I'm not,
Oh,
I'm not saying I'm not a good teacher, but I'm the type of person I have to get hands on, but they're veterans as well, so they just hired them, so we're trying to get them trained, and it was just kind of a rough week, but I'm glad it's over with. Let's just say that.
well, that's pretty good. Well,
Yeah, I'm glad it's over with.
those hard weeks, that's one of the things I'm going through right now. This week is really
Mm-hmm.
terrible for me.
Yeah,
I have my
sometimes it's
goods
like
on,
that. Right.
no time for the grooming, just work.
Right. Just work. Yep.
All right, so let's get straight to it. The
Okay.
number one question:
Mm-hmm.
what do soldiers actually play?
From experience, you wouldn't think that a lot of soldiers would play a lot of shooters, but in all actuality, we do. We play a lot of Call of Duty. I know some of my comrades they play Battlefield, but they a lot of my friends that have been in the military and that have retired or we just did our time and we got out. We played the I think the game that gravitates towards us, is actually us being in actual combat because I was actually in combat and I lean more towards the genre of shooters. I don't know why, and you would think it wouldn't be like that because we actually saw the actual action in real life. But I don't know if it's a psychological thing or whatever. But that's what I lean towards, and a lot of my friends. That's what we play a lot of shooters.
Do you,
It's just fun. It's fun for us. It's like in our downtime. That's what we play. So.
here's a question: Is it
Hmm.
does playing games like Call of Duty and Battlefield, is
Hmm.
that sort of a psychological practice for when you guys actually do your combat? How close to it is it? The way the games are made, how
Hmm.
close to it is a simulation versus your actual time in actual combat?
It's really not really. To me, it's not really that close in simulation. We take me personally, I take it as a sport. I take it as having fun or whatever. Now I would say the reflexes are probably, maybe it can be spot on. It just depends on the game. Me personally, like I said, some of my friends prefer Call of Duty over Battlefield.
Mhm.
Me personally, I'm not really a Battlefield type of uh gamer. I mean, I'll play it because I have been playing, Battlefield Hardline, which is not the greatest game, but it's still a fun game if you're playing with your friends.
Mhm.
And I think it's to me it's not really parallel because when you're actually out on the battlefield, it's a totally different experience. It's more realism. Of course you're actually on the battlefield. It's That's the real deal. But I think one of the games that kind of to me leaned more towards the actual part of a soldier was actually the game Medal of Honor, and a lot of people did not like that game.
This is true.
But I
Now,
happen to like Medal of Honor because to me they actually had actual soldiers that were implemented and helped develop that game.
yes, but
So,
now I've seen a lot of war games. I've seen
hmm,
every iteration of Call of Duty.
right,
I've seen the three battlefields so far,
hmm,
but none of them, and they're graphically superior.
right,
But in terms of the action in the game, I shouldn't
hmm,
call it action. In terms
yeah,
of the experiences in the game,
hmm, right,
Medal of Honor actually truly
hmm.
re what's the word for this?
They reenacted it very well.
Yes, they reenact the true grotesqueries of war. Like
Right,
when I first, and you know what it's mainly about?
hmm,
It's the ambient sounds. Like when they
exactly,
had the Normandy beach scene
hmm,
in Medal
right,
of Honor,
right.
it made me just to take that beach, and that's the opening of the game.
Yes, it
That
is.
that made me wonder, like, what I had to, and this is no offense against the people who serve in the military, but
Right.
what type of madness your mind has to be psychologically warped to
Right.
say, I'm going to do that. I don't give a shit if it's for God and country, because that's crazy.
Yes, it is.
You drop down the drawbridge. Well, first of all, in that game, when the
Right.
drawbridge from the boat drops down, your boat gets hit with
Right.
a shell.
Yes.
You're in the water. You're
Mm-hmm.
watching your fellow
Yeah.
soldiers drown.
Mm-hmm.
Bullets are coming into the water, shredding
Yes.
them.
Yes. Yes.
So in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, okay, let's say this is a reenactment. Clearly, a
Mm.
soldier had to have survived to have told that.
Right. Right.
What hell did he go through psychologically? Because at any moment, a bullet can hit you. But
Yeah, that's true.
he's swimming
Mm-hmm.
anyway. So
Right.
it's more like I'm hoping I just gotta swim and I have to hope
Right.
to God the bullet doesn't hit me.
Right. Right.
And then as you're
That's
swimming, you're watching your friends who are praying to God the same way like you get hit.
right.
I don't
Yep.
know.
That
I'm gonna keep it real. I just swam back to the boat. Nah, that's madness. That doesn't make any sense.
I
That
know. I mean, Medal of Honor, people, they over a lot of people, there was so much negativity with that game. A lot of people didn't like it.
mhm.
But a lot of soldiers, a lot of my friends, we did because we understood the,
The realism.
we actually, yeah, we understood the realism of it. It reminded me of some of the things that I went through in Desert Storm because I'm a Desert Storm veteran. And that story really kind of, it reminded me so of, some of the episodes in that game reminded me of the actual things that I went through in real life. I was like, okay, so it wasn't to me. It was a more of a personal game. That was a game that I still have right now on my PS3. That's a game that I'm gonna always keep in my collection, no matter what. Now, the game that came out after that, what was it? Medal of Honor Warfighter, I think that's what it was. I wasn't really too fond of that one. I felt like they got away from the story in a way, but it's still pretty good, but the very first Medal of Honor, and I want another Medal of Honor, and I want them to include the soldiers just like they did on the first one. Get these soldiers involved in the development of these games if you want to do, war games like that because a lot of us have actually been in combat. So what better way but to have a combat veteran involved in the in the direction of that particular game. You can't get any realer than that. So,
Oh, you
hey,
can't.
that's just my take on it.
I'm looking at them remaster a lot of games,
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
thinking that why haven't they remastered Medal of Honor?
I know. I know.
Because with today's graphics,
Mhm.
I think if they, a lot of people want the modern war and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Me,
Right.
I,
Right.
I don't see, honestly speaking, modern
Mm.
warfare or advanced warfare isn't really modern or advanced at all.
Right.
The reason why I say this is because we use more drones and bombs than we actually
Right.
do more ground,
Right.
stuff. Black Ops makes sense because at the end of the day, you still
Yeah.
need someone to go in and get the job
Exactly.
done. But
Right.
so Black Ops to me, in my opinion, has been the best Call of Duty and the
That's
more
true.
realistic. And
Right.
versus the others, advanced warfare, you're spending all this technology and giving these guys bionic suits. Like
Right.
they wouldn't really do that. They would just create androids and drones that fly
Mhm.
in and just go kill people. But it's
That's
whatever.
true.
I understand where they're trying to go out with that.
Yeah, they're trying to, I guess cater to, maybe some of the newer technology, which is, okay. I'm more of a, if you're going to do a game that you're going to mimic a war or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
you have, a war is fought many ways. You have the air, which is the Air Force, you
Yep.
have the Navy, and you have the Marine Corps, and you have the ground, which is the Army. So you have to take all of those elements, implement that into the game. And Battlefield does a good job with that, but I just really couldn't get into Battlefield 4. Now Battlefield 3 I like, but I couldn't get into Battlefield 4 because it was a broken game at launch and I was just like to heck with it. I'm not going to waste my time or whatever. It's not that it's not a good game,
Mm-hmm.
but to me the best war game so far that I've played has been Medal of Honor, and I actually like Call of Duty 4. I actually like that particular game. To me that was more realistic than, the modern games that are out now.
Can you give me 1 second? Hold on.
Okay.
Sorry about that. I didn't want the
That's
chatter in the
okay.
background to come back. So
That's okay.
yeah. So okay. If they Now let's take this a step further before we get back to what happens at the actual training camp.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question.
Okay.
If the U.S. Army built a Call of Duty team
Mm-hmm.
and said, "Okay, guys, we want you guys to compete."
Mm-hmm.
We're not in war right now. Well, not that I know of. I don't know how many wars America is constantly in, but
Right.
from the big ones, we're not in any
Mm-hmm.
big wars right now.
Exactly.
Um, do you think that an actual military team in
Mm-hmm.
Call of Duty, let's say they have they have the above average skill
Mm-hmm.
of a Call of Duty player,
Mm-hmm.
but with their actual military training, do you
Mm-hmm.
think that they could beat one of the pro gaming championship teams?
I believe there's a possibility.
Well, there's always a possibility, but
Yeah.
why?
Because we have tools. I mean, if they make it realistic
Mm-hmm.
and they fine tune it, like we were actually in a simulated war zone,
Yes.
and you put it against a professional, or like you said, like a MLG player or just a professional player, that's, won tons of records or whatever like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe they could win.
Hmm.
I really
Now,
believe that.
now, why?
Why?
Yes, the reason why. Why do you think they can win?
If it's simulated and if it's, like I said, if it's done right,
Mm-hmm.
being the training that we go through is so rigorous. It really is. It's really rigorous. And that's for all branches of the military. And if they
Okay.
put that same training in a game,
Mm-hmm.
all we're going to do is reflect back to how we were trained. It's just like me now, I can go to a gun range right now. I have not lost any of my skills from the military. It stays with you as long as you keep practicing.
Okay.
So I mean, if, as long as it's simulated and it's to the point that these soldiers have, they feel like they're actually in that training simulator and they're playing against whoever they may be playing against. Yeah, they can win.
Hmm. Interesting.
They can win. Yeah,
Uh,
that's like football. When the Army plays against the Navy, and
yeah.
normally the Army always loses, but but it's
Why
kind of
is
that
that?
same name. I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. I always I very seldom look at it because they always lose. That's like, okay. But we have our own within our own rank, our different services. We have our own ways of teasing each other.
Mm-hmm.
We tease each other in our own branches. But at the end of the day, we're all there together to get the mission done. Even though we may hassle each other and rag each other, we're there to do a mission. And once we do that mission as a unit,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to get done right because we're going to hit you from all sides. We're going to hit you from the air. We're going to hit you from the ground. We're going to hit you from the water. Whatever ways we have from a tank. It just depends. Everybody has to play their role, and once everybody plays their role, then the mission is complete.
All right. So I this is the reason why I actually asked you that question, and I was wondering. Um,
Mhm.
when I watch Call of Duty players,
Mhm.
they have like different positions. Slayer, and
Mhm.
this guy does this and this guy does that. When you
Right.
watch how they play,
Mhm.
there is absolutely, and this is just from my experience,
Mhm.
there's absolutely no coordination whatsoever, no actual military strategy
Right.
whatsoever. I've seen a
Right.
couple of military movies, right?
Mhm.
And I see like a four-man team move. You have one guy covering north,
Right.
one guy
Right.
covering south, one guy covering east.
Right.
So there's a hole in the middle, right? But you
Mhm.
can't
Right.
penetrate that, right?
Exactly.
I've never
Right.
seen one team ever do that before, especially when they're in a clutch. Okay, you're playing. Everyone move out, search
Right.
and destroy, and they get a
Mhm.
lead. Now, if you get
Right.
a lead, right,
Mhm.
and you know the team is going to try to flank you, why
Right.
why haven't they set up a perimeter where someone is covering a specific back end, a west and
Exactly.
east end, and then you have
Right.
someone out in the front? No one does it. Everyone just keeps running around, and it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I
It's
sat
crazy.
and I'm like, and they're just shooting each other. Then they die, and
Right.
then the team come back and they respawn, and no one
Right.
regroups, retakes the
Exactly.
position. They don't,
Hmm.
especially in capture the flag. Now you would think
Right.
in capture the flag, right? You would think in
Right.
capture the flag that you'd have it like, let's look at it like a cross, right?
Right. Right.
The guy who has a flag is the guy moving forward, right?
That's true.
So what you would have is the north end of the cross would come in, so you'd be
Right.
centered. and then
Mm-hmm.
he would be protected by west, east, south, and they
Right.
move as a unit.
Right.
Now they have an eye in every position. You cannot flank them. You
Right.
cannot surprise them. If
Mm-hmm.
if I'm in the middle now and then boom,
Right.
east goes down, he could say east is down.
Right.
South can rotate into the east position. They know where the flank's coming from, and the guy who has a flag can keep moving. None of
Right.
these Delta, Bravo, Alpha, Omega, none of these strategies are used. It's just search and destroy.
Exactly. It's
Dead. Respawn.
that's
Come
it.
back. Search
It.
and destroy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I
Yeah.
wonder if the military decided to actually play the game and use these type of strategies. How like
Mm.
you guys would take a certain perimeter out in
Right.
Iraq or what? I wonder how
Yeah.
that would fare against the actual players. And I actually think the actual
Mm-hmm.
players will actually get destroyed.
They would, without a doubt, they would get destroyed because I find myself when I play with my friends, and then they know I'm military, and even though we're having fun, there's still something in the back of my mind. I say we got to play this as a team, and that's why it's important to be on the mic, talking to your teammates. Whenever I play any type of shooter, we are on the mic. If I'm gonna do something on another perimeter, I'm gonna let my teammates know, hey, I'm flanking from the left. I'm gonna flank from the right. I'm gonna, do this. I'm gonna do that, and we work as a team, and that's every game that I play.
And and
That's
and,
just it
and
just it just it comes back to me. I was like, oh my God, even though I'm having fun, I'm not realizing that I'm still playing strategically. I don't know if there's a such thing as playing strategically in a Call of Duty game, unless you play with other military members that know how to play the game.
there is a
Especially domination, because domination you have to have that.
there is a low end of strategy used in Call of Duty if you're comparing it
Right.
to the actual military. And those
Right.
teams are the only ones who, because they're playing as a team and they're actually
Mm-hmm.
communicating, those are the
Right.
ones that win. One
Mm-hmm.
common thing about Call of Duty is the teams that keep losing are the ones that have absolutely no communication
That's it. That's
whatsoever.
so true. That is
Those
so
teams
true.
always get destroyed. And
Right.
then you have the guys start going around there talking about, oh my goodness, you suck, this, that. And,
Yep.
and it's annoying. Listen,
It is
like
annoying. It can. That's why when I play, I make sure I play with my friends. Any type of shooter, I make sure I'm in a chat with people that I know. Because even though I may be joking and laughing, because I'm gonna laugh throughout the whole gameplay,
mm,
but I'm still gonna be. I might, because I do sneak attacks. I'm
yeah,
that type of player. When I'm playing a shooter or just pretty much any type of game, but especially a shooter, I will sneak up on a person. Like I'll cloak, either I'll cloak like in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. I don't really cloak a lot.
yeah,
I'm gonna stop cloaking. I'm just gonna use the silent steps. That's what I want. That's probably what I'll start using more, because when you're actually in battle and you're trying to get to where you have to, if you're trying to get to your enemy, you
mm,
have to be
silent.
kind of quiet. You cannot be loud trying to come in and take over. You have to, you have to watch your steps and strategically move your way in, and then you go in for the kill. That's what you do. So I don't know. Military people, we play our games pretty much like we're trained. So even though we're having fun, we know it's a game,
Mm-hmm.
but we still play that way. So, but it's still all fun, and for the most part, when we do play like that, we win. And that's what it's about, having fun, and you know.
Now here's some. Well, we're gonna get to. Remind
Mm.
me to ask you. I want to touch on a statement being made in the stream, and then we'll
Okay.
get to another aspect regarding the Army and the Navy and
Okay.
MLG. So
Okay.
Big Huge McLarge, which that name is killing me. Big Huge McLarge says, "Can you swamp camp in the Army?"
What does he mean by swamp camp?
That I do not know. So Big
Yeah, you have
Huge
to tell me what he means
McLarge,
by that. Yeah.
supersize. You forgot that part. Can you explain what do you mean by swamp camp in the army?
Yeah, because I've never heard that saying before.
All right. So here's something that I wanted to bring to wanted to bring to light. Okay.
Mhm.
Um, the NBA
Mhm.
has a regular season,
Right.
and in their regular season they have a playoffs, right,
Mhm.
or an All Star game.
Right.
The Army and the Navy compete in football. I don't know if
Mhm.
they do basketball or
Uh,
whatever the case. I
Yeah.
always wondered why MLG
Mhm.
never decided to say, let's, when they have hosted big events, Let's
Right.
have an Army and Navy All-Star game sponsored by the U.S. Army
Wow.
or the United States government or military as a
Right.
whole. You know, it
They
doesn't
sh
cost a lot.
right.
People can make donations to the. This is a great way to raise
Mhm.
money to support
That's
the troops
that's true.
for America's initiatives in war. We'll just leave it like
Mhm.
that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it would be entertaining to see
Yes,
them
it would
actually
be.
compete and how real life. So it wouldn't be Army and Navy. It would be Army and Marines.
Yeah.
That would be a great thing to see how the Marines and the Army would fare off in the actual game that's being depicted from them. I think
Yeah.
a lot of people would watch,
That would
especially
be awesome.
the
Right.
competitors will definitely watch because they're going to
Mhm.
want to know how is it that the actual military people think so that they can
Mhm.
incorporate it in their game.
Exactly.
That's what that is.
Yes.
And I always wondered about that. I think that's something that I don't know if anyone in the military even thought about this. I know the military has worked with MLG before, but I just
Mhm.
don't know if they ever thought about this. And
Mm.
are you still in service?
No, I'm out. I got out in 93.
Oh, you got it.
So
Okay,
I've yeah, I've been
so
out for a while.
so you're a
Yeah.
vet. You're a straight
Yeah,
vet.
I'm a vet.
And
Mhm.
that would perhaps be the even better thing. Like you don't have to even use people who are serving.
Right.
You can use veterans.
That's
You
true
know
because there's a
who have
lot of us.
yeah, because
Mhm.
there's a lot of you guys and stuff like
Right.
that. So that would be
Right.
actually a great idea. In fact, let's do something engaging right now. Let's
Okay.
tweet something. Hey, MLG, right?
Yeah.
I'm discussing a army versus actually
Right.
let's tag the army.
Yep.
U.S. Army versus I think it's Marines.
U.S.
The
Marine Corps.
U.S. Marine Corps.
Mhm.
There we go.
Mhm.
U.S. Marine Corps All-Star game
Mhm.
at MLG
Yeah.
um,
Wow.
with Call of Duty. I'll just put regular Call of Duty. Kids about the
Yeah.
bad word, but Call of Duty. Discussing with what's your name?
Right.
What's your name again? Your Twitter again. Never know his camp.
Soldiers at Soldiers that game.
Soldierz with a
Mhm.
Z.
Yeah, with the Z.
Soldierz that game. Wait a minute. I tagged you not too long ago.
Yeah.
Why is this not coming up? 1 second. I know where to find this. There you go.
Yeah.
Talking with, because I want them to know that this is an actual soldier that I'm actually speaking to.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fine.
Soldierz. THT. There we go.
Mhm.
Okay,
Right.
hey MLG, I'm discussing with Soldierz that game, a U.S. Army versus U.S. Marine Corps All-Star game at MLG with Call of Duty.
Mhm.
Your thoughts?
Yep. They probably never really thought of it. If because I've never come across. I knew a a lot of my friends, even even in our soldiers at game on our Facebook group,
Mm-hmm.
there is a group within our group. We're all one team named Gamers in Arms that is run by PJ, and we're all one unit.
Yes.
And they play a lot of Call of Duty, and they play primarily on the Xbox One. And these guys are good. That's all I can say. They are really, really good. I was like, wow. So that would
Apart,
be awesome. All services are represented, with Soldiers at Game and Gamers in Arms because you got Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marine Corps. All of us, all of us have been in one of those branches of the military, and we just all mesh well together. So that would be an awesome thing to do.
I think that's a great idea. I threw it
Hmm.
out to MLG. Let's see what
Right.
MLG says about the topic. It's something.
Yeah.
I know a couple of people in MLG. I can run the topic
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
directly,
Yeah.
and I
That's
can
cool.
I can put you in contact with, and you guys can
That's
use
fine.
veterans for both. When you say
Yeah.
soldiers at your group, soldiers at game,
Hmm.
does it have a combination of like land, sea, and air military vets, or is it
Yes.
particularly?
It,
Oh, okay, good.
it's everything. It's the Marine Corps, Army, Navy, and let's see, Marine Corps, Army, Navy, and Air Force.
Okay.
Yeah. It's all four branches. That's what
So.
even the logo that PJ created.
Hmm.
I don't know if you saw the STG Soldiers That Game logo, the actual logo. He was telling you, I think in the Facebook group, or I think he tweeted it to you, that the star stood for unity, and the four dots that's on the actual logo are all four branches of the military. So even the
Wow.
logo is like it has its own meaning. So and
So
that's what it is. It's a brotherhood slash sisterhood. It's an unbreakable bond, and that's real serious.
we'll
So
see. When was the I haven't been. Well, I've been in Jamaica, so I've been working on
hmm
esports in Jamaica, doing a
yeah,
couple of things, and I never had a chance to. I never had a chance to actually like create like get follow up with what's going on with MLG for the last
that's fine.
couple
Yeah,
of months. But
right.
does MLG actually still do like physical landing? Yeah, what am I talking about? Of course they do. Why would I ask that stupid question? I just saw the last Call of Duty Championship not too long ago.
Yeah,
But
they do a
see,
lot of things. Yeah.
they could even do it there, like at the Call of Duty World
hmm
Championships.
Yeah,
Boom,
they could.
they could have done that there. They could have had an All Star moment
Right,
and
right.
whatnot. You-
That would generate so much. It would be so much positive. It would be so
Yes,
much positivity would come out of that. It really would, and that's what it's about.
and they need to get that. They need to get that. They need to get it more. They need to get it going a little more.
Yeah,
Just
they're
okay. I'm
they
sorry. Go
can
on.
do it. Yeah, they can do it. I mean, that I know. Heard nothing but good things about MLG. So
So, all right. So I'm gonna call. I'm gonna talk to Chris. Right.
okay,
I'm gonna talk to Puckett. Right.
yeah,
And I want to kind of get. I want to kind of get you involved with them,
okay,
so and see
okay,
if this is something that they would actually be interested in.
okay.
They could have a veterans all-star game.
Yeah, yeah.
Five-man team. Well, it's a four-man
hmm
team, right? A four-man team with the U.S. Army versus a four-man team with the U.S. Marines. They
Right.
play Call of Duty
Yeah.
and so forth, and then and see what if MLG is actually interested in something like that. So I'll
Right.
definitely
Right.
hit them up with that.
That's it. That's
Um, we'll do one more question, and then
okay.
because I know I don't want to hold you up too long. I know you got to get ready to go.
Yeah.
So the last question here is because
hmm
this is the military, so it doesn't have the what's the word for this? The under represented. They don't have an underrepresented
hmm
representation for female. So,
hmm
because I know in soldiers, a soldier's a soldier. They don't consider you a female soldier or a male soldier. You're just a
Right.
soldier.
You're just a soldier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how many ladies, like, if you had to compare them,
hmm
how many girls play Call of Duty in Soldiers that game?
Let me think. I might be the only one
In your group?
in my group.
Nah,
I
that
think so.
can't be.
I think so.
Really?
I have to look back at it again because our group is not a really big group.
Oh,
And that's
yeah.
okay. I'm not, we're growing, but we're not a really big group. I take that back.
Hmm.
Um, there is I don't want to call her government name. I'll just call her GIA Paradigms. She's another
Okay.
female that does play Call of Duty. Yeah, so far there are two of us.
But that is from the military.
That's from the military.
Because I'm looking in the group and I see a bunch of women, but I just
hmm
don't know if these women have
Yeah,
served.
right.
See, so I see, yeah, there's a bunch of girls here. I just
hmm
don't know if they serve.
Yeah.
You know what you should do? You should ask which
Actually, I
do a
actually I think
poll or
that's
something
what I
like
was
that.
gonna do. Especially closer to Veterans Day. I'm gonna have everybody that it has served in the military,
Mhm.
male and female, because it may be somebody I missed, but I don't think I think it's just the two of us.
Yeah.
Myself and GIA Paradigms. I think we're the only two females in Soldiers that game that I think so far, unless it's somebody else that I may not know because Gamers in Arms, they have some members that I may not know about, but they have their own website as well, and we're all linked together. But far as I know, me and her, I think her name is Laura. We're the only two that I know of so far. So close to the Veterans Day, I was going to have everybody post their, pictures when they were in the military. That's what I was going to do, so I could identify more. Because by then, we're going to continue to grow. So I kind of want to know, who's because the males I already know who's served. The ones that are in the group, I already know who's who. I know who's been in the military and who hasn't. And we don't limit it, to just soldiers. There are I got my own friends in there too that I've been knowing. So it's not just limited to soldiers, but I wanted a place where soldiers could go and play games. We can exchange PSNIDs, gamer tags, and all that good stuff, and just have a good time and just game. So that's what it's about. But so far, I think we're the only two. I have to say that right off the top of my head, as far as I know.
Okay, because definitely be interested. I'm very interested
Hmm.
in talking to Puckett and trying to
Okay.
connect them to you because like
Okay.
you already know some guys in the military.
Hmm.
If they needed to bring a team of veteran
That's fine.
people that have served or
Hmm.
seen combat, then
Right.
that would be great. And it's kind of
Yeah.
easy. You have
Yeah.
171 people in your group.
Yeah.
I can assume that a large portion of that have actually
Hmm.
served in the military because I'm
Right.
looking here and I'm seeing a lot. Here's this guy, Dre
Hmm.
Wells. He's a SPCE
Oh yeah.
four.
Yeah. He's from
It's
my
a
hometown.
yeah.
Hmm.
There's guys who are still serving here. So
Right.
them
Right.
putting
Right.
together two teams of four
Yeah.
is not hard,
Hmm.
and
Right. That's true.
that would in my opinion that would be godlike to have that. But
That's true.
I know, Miss Karen, I know you have a short time left. Thank you for coming
Yeah.
on.
No problem
Um,
at all.
hey guys, I'm gonna put it in the room right now. For those who are here in the room, boom, the Soldiers That Game. That's their Facebook. You can join their Facebook chat by simply clicking that link and then asking to join. Let's help
Right.
populate the the group and support our soldiers, even in video games.
Right.
So, but thank you for having me on. Next time, I would like to have you back on at some time next week because I would like to
Okay.
do a follow up, see what happens
Okay.
when MLG, when we bring this to MLG's attention, see if anything came out of it, and kind of
Okay.
push this because I would like to see an
Yeah.
actual All Star game
Yeah.
later on.
Well, I have to say I really appreciate all your support. You've always been cordial. You've always been very supportive, positive influence. Everybody at Soldiers at Game and Gamers at Arms, we really appreciate you. And I
Oh,
just
thank
want to
you.
let you know, and you're welcome to come on our podcast anytime you want.
Yes,
You
I
know,
definitely would
and
like to come on your
yes,
podcast.
yeah, we're having one next Wednesday, and just come through. I'll send you the link, and just we like to cut up and have a good time. So I think you'll enjoy it. I'm pretty
Oh,
sure you'll enjoy it.
I like intellectual conversations that serve
Right.
some type of productive value.
Exactly.
A lot of the times we
Exactly.
come on my stream, but that's because we haven't launched yet. I'm waiting to raise this money for my new laptop. Once I get
Right.
everything set,
Hmm.
we're gonna have our shows that are gonna have guests that come
Right.
on, and we're gonna keep it structured. There was
That's
one
it.
thing I wanted to say though.
Hmm.
I find it funny
Yeah.
that the people who play League of Legends and Dota use more military strategy than people who play Call of Duty.
No. That's
That's
true.
crazy. That's actually
Isn't that
crazy.
amazing? That is
Yes,
amazing. I said,
that's crazy.
wow.
Like
Yeah, it is.
they actually play it a little bit. They play it military style, where people in
Yes.
Call of Duty don't.
They don't. They don't. I mean, you can subject to play with a 12-year-old on a Call of Duty game, and you already know. You already know how the chat room is.
Yes,
You know what to expect. So I was like, okay.
sadly, you have 13 and 14 and 15-year-olds winning Call of Duty tournaments.
Right.
That will never, and I repeat, never happen in League of Legends or Dota,
No, it would
especially
never.
Dota.
Exactly.
All right, Karen, thank you for
Okay.
coming on. I appreciate having you here. So,
Okay.
I'll touch bases with you next week, and I'll let you know what's going on. Okay?
Okay. Well, I appreciate it.
All right, no problem. I'll
All
talk to you
right.
later.
All right then. Bye bye.
Oh, that was a good guess, Karen. Oh my goodness, I forgot to bring Ma.